Hello, I'm Rebecca. I'm a graduate student at the School of Social Welfare here at the University of Albany. Because April is Autism Awareness Month, I thought this would be a good opportunity to discuss some of the challenges adults on the spectrum face. We commonly hear about children with autism, but the disorder does not disappear once a child turns 18. Autism is a lifelong disorder, and currently there is a dire need for more support services to assist adults on the spectrum. One of the many areas of difficulty that adults with autism find themselves dealing with surrounds employment, specifically difficulty achieving gainful and meaningful employment that is consistent with the person's education, intellect, and interests. Reports from the George Washington University Center for Rehabilitation Counseling Research and Education estimate that roughly 85 to 90% of adults with autism are unemployed. Recently, my friend Henny and I became the inspiration behind a new bill which was introduced to the State Assembly. The bill, number A05141, promises to significantly change the employment outcomes for individuals with autism and other communication impairments by helping to make job opportunities more accessible. The bill directs the Commissioner of Education to amend the education law in relation to vocational rehabilitation services by adding a new section for communication support as a vocational rehabilitation service. Communication difficulties are common among the autism population. Examples include difficulty with turn-taking in a conversation or repeatedly lecturing on a favorite interest. My friend Henny provided a pretty good example of this when she said, quote, "Some people think pedantic monologues on a favorite interest is obnoxious, as it appears we're only showing off million-dollar words. In reality, it feels internally like there is no other word that can be used of the same caliber to articulate the thought." End of quote. Offering communication support that addresses these areas and more will help prepare individuals with autism and other communication disorders for appropriately conversing in the workplace. The majority of employment support services cater to a wide range of disabilities, including autism spectrum disorders. Through our personal and professional experiences, Henny and I have noticed a gap in employment among individuals with autism spectrum disorders who have used supportive employment programs. Many individuals with disabilities, including autism, receive supported employment services through Access VR, formerly known as VESID. Access VR counselors generally refer consumers to a cluster of services such as job placement services, supported employment, and education support. The benefits of these services for individuals with autism have been lacking. This is because, and I'm quoting from our original proposal, which was the inspiration behind bill number A05141, people with autism do not benefit from these job services alone. Autism is a spectrum disorder which includes many individuals with high education levels and technical skills who have the need for communication support and not necessarily basic job skills training. Many adults with autism often seek Access VR assistance after completing college and with specific skill sets. The barriers to employment are communication-based rather than skill-lacking. Communication support is needed to ensure appropriate job development and employment retention that is strengths-based. Most people with autism do not enter or maintain employment due to mishaps with communication that lead to misunderstandings with colleagues and/or termination. If I could just speak candidly for just a moment here, last year, Henny and I met with the Assistant Commissioner of Access VR, as well as the head of the Access VR Quality Assurance and Monitoring at the State Education Department in regards to our proposal and system reform. Henny and I spoke about the low unemployment rates common among individuals with disabilities. We shared our own experiences and frustrations about what it had been like to be offered minimum wage jobs with college educations. We also emphasized the lack of preparedness on behalf of job coaching agencies when trying to assist those on the spectrum find employment at the level of their education and expertise. The irony about that particular meeting was that immediately following the meeting, I was offered a janitorial position located at the State Education Building, the very same building where we had our meeting earlier in the day with the Assistant Commissioner. Now, this is not to say that working in janitorial is a bad thing. Many people are happy to work in this profession, For my areas of interest, however, that position was not in line to what I was looking for. To be repeatedly offered low-wage jobs that are not in line to one's interest or education depletes one's self-worth and self-esteem. One of the most important skills to learn, specifically for populations who are chronically underserved, is to learn to self-advocate. Historically, adults with autism have not come together in large numbers for the purpose of advocating for a common cause. It can be difficult to access or affect certain resources without collective action. Encouraging individuals with disabilities, including autism, to become more aware that their input is valuable and they do have a purpose for a cause is so important. It's also important to break this culture of isolation for coping, which can be common among individuals on the spectrum. If you are interested in supporting Bill number A05141, feel free to share your support on social media and with family and friends. You can also contact your state assembly person and ask them to support this bill. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this segment.